What clothes did I take with me when I was through hiking the Appalachian Trail? Let me show you guys. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Audrey. On trail, I'm known as Glow Stick. In 2018, I quit my job in Washington, D.C. and thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. It was freaking awesome. So now I'm on YouTube telling you guys about it because I'm just dreaming until the next time I go on a thru-hike. But anyway, this is one of the most common questions I get about gear / my thru-hike is what clothes do I bring with me? So I figured today I would show you guys. Have all my stuff laid out on this handy dandy little clothing rack next to me. So I'm just gonna pull it off while I show you guys, and I'm gonna explain some of the decisions I made in terms of clothes. Let me just preface this by saying I'm a really cold person, and I'm definitely not an ultralight backpacker. You would see this if you saw any of my AT photos. I had a really freaking big backpack, which I have worked on, and gotten lighter and smaller gear. But still, like, ultralighters would say I have too many clothes. I say I have the exact right amount of clothes, and I did send some of these home when it got warm. But I don't think that I would do another thru hike with less clothes. So it's all up to personal preference, but I'm gonna show you guys what I took and explain why. Okay, first of all, best piece of clothing that I had on the trail, my Puffy. I personally got a synthetic Puffy. You can get synthetic or down. Both have, you know, good things about them and bad things about them. I chose synthetic because the AT is a really wet trail, and when down gets wet, it loses its insulating properties, and that's why these puffy jackets are good, because they are insulators, so they trap all your heat inside when you're wearing them, and so you can get a lot of warmth for not a lot of weight. So I wanted a synthetic jacket, and at the time, at my old job, I was getting like 40% off pro deal on Patagonia, so I was like, heck yeah, I'll get a Patagonia jacket. And I love this jacket. I still wear it all the time. Now I live in Colorado, and literally everyone goes around wearing puffies all the time, which is great for me because this is about the most comfortable jacket I have ever had. But this is a Patagonia Nano Puff. It's one of their lighter puffies. It's not the lightest one that they have, but this is synthetic, so I wasn't as worried about it getting wet, although I did, for the most part, only wear this at camp. I didn't really wear it when I was hiking, just because like camp was the place that I was really worried about getting cold. And I wanted to have like a dry puffy for when I was at camp. So anyway, this is the Nano Puff. One mistake I made was not getting the hood. At the time I was like, oh, the hood is like $50 extra. It's gonna be more weight. I just like won't get the hood. Big mistake. I wished the entire time that I had a hood. So I recently bought a second Puffy. I got a Patagonia Micro Puff because I liked this Patagonia so much that I decided to get another one. So I got the Micro Puff, which is their lightest Puffy. It's only like 8 or 9 ounces, and it's supposed to be a little bit warmer than this one, which was really appealing to me. But to be perfectly honest, I'm planning to, like, on my colder backpacking trips from here on out, like, bring 2 puffies, which again, ultralighters would be like, you're freaking crazy. But I'm just so cold, and when I get cold, I get miserable. And I recently took a backcountry skiing course, and my instructor was wearing 2 puffies, and that's inspired me. So I was like, I need to get 2 puffies. But anyway, this is super light, it's super comfortable. It's like fairly warm. It could be a little warmer, but again, I'm a cold person. And then another really popular model for thru-hikers is the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer. And I think it's like comparably warm to this one from what I've read, but it's a little puffier because it's reeled down. And since I wanted one that was synthetic, I didn't really think about getting that one since it's about the same amount of warmth, supposedly, and it's down, so if it got wet, it could cause issues. But anyway, so that's why I chose this, but puffy jacket is a must. I love this so much. I also brought a fleece. This is just a black fleece that I already owned from Old Navy. And again, like some people say, if you have a puffy, you don't need a fleece, but I needed both because I would be wearing both of these and my rain gear over top, and I would still be freezing a lot of times at camp, especially in the early days of the trail. So I started in mid-March. I started March 20th, and for several weeks, it was really, really cold, especially, you know, when you were hiking, it was okay, but when you stopped at camp, it would get colder. So I never regretted this, and I never sent this or my Puffy home, even when it got warm out, because the nights could still be chilly. I brought 2 pairs of athletic shorts. Oh, and I should just say that some of these clothes aren't the exact clothes that I had on the trail, just because I either don't have them anymore or couldn't find them. Like, for example, my shorts on the trail got totally freaking destroyed. So these are not the shorts that I had with me out there, but they're similar. So I brought 2 pairs of athletic shorts, one for hiking, one for camp / town, doing laundry, that sort of thing. I brought 2 quick drying tank tops because I don't like to wear t-shirts. I'm not a t-shirt person. I always hike in tank tops. And I've had people ask me, like, doesn't that bother your shoulders when you're wearing a pack? And for me, it really doesn't. And like, I don't know, t-shirts make me too hot. Like, they trap in heat, and I don't like that. So I'm a tank top person. So I brought 2 quick drying tank tops. Again, one was for hiking, one was for camp and town. And those were just from Old Navy. I actually bought on the trail another tank top, a Patagonia one, and it didn't dry as fast and it didn't hold up as well as my Old Navy ones. So it's not always the expensive stuff that works out. And then I had a long sleeve Patagonia shirt too. This is the same shirt that I had. I still wear it. And this, I think, is just, it's a mid layer. It's a capilene base layer. So this is also pretty quick drying, and like, if it got wet while I was wearing it, it would hold the water away from my skin. So this was a great shirt to have. 2 sports bras, 3 pairs of ex officio underwear. This brand is super popular for hikers because it's like antibacterial, antimicrobial, I believe, and like keeps the smells down, supposedly. I think it does. 1 pair of hiking pants. I just already owned these when I started the trail. They're Columbia brand, they're quick drying, and they're moisture wicking. So when it was raining and I was hiking in these, I would just kind of watch the rain beat up on the outside and not soak through. So these are a great pair of hiking pants, and I'll probably get another very similar pair for the next time I do a long trail. By the way, I normally hike in leggings, like day hike, but it's so rainy on the AT. Leggings never would have worked for me because I just can't imagine having to like take them off and put them back on when they're wet all the time. For those of you who wear leggings, you know what I'm talking about. For camp, when it was cold outside, I had this set of Under Armour, just like pants and a long sleeve shirt. This was for, you know, like cold weather sleeping basically, and cold weather hanging out at camp. I ended up eventually sending these home because I didn't need them once it got warm out, and I got to the end of the trail before it got too cold again, so I never felt like I needed to bring them back, but these were great for camp. I had a buff, which tons of hikers wear these to like keep the hair out of their face and the sweat, and to like keep their ears warm while they're hiking. These come in handy for all sorts of things. I would definitely recommend getting one. I also had a fleece headband, which I would wear for sleeping, but I don't know what happened to that. And it didn't work that well, to be honest, because it just didn't fit my head very well, and it always like come out of place. I would just bring a beanie next time. Pair of gloves. I know these are excessive, but they're just what I had, so I took them. I would only wear them at camp, and I eventually sent them home. Also had a neck warmer for sleeping at the beginning of the trail. This is a fleece from turtle fur. I still wear it skiing. Eventually sent that home as well once it got warm. Pair of glove liners, 2 pairs of darn tough hiking socks for hiking. I love these socks so much. In combination with sock liners, these worked out so well for me. I still only wear these hiking, basically like these types of socks. They have a lifetime warranty, so if you get a hole in them or something, you can send them back and they'll give you a free pair. They're super comfortable, and I only ever got blisters one single time on the AT, and it was when I got caught in this huge rainstorm, and I just watched rain run down my legs into my boots, and my boots filled up with water. And then it was so humid and wet for the next few days that my shoes never dried, and so I got blisters. But that was the only single time I ever got blisters. These with sock liners are awesome. I had 1 pair of fleece socks for sleeping. I also eventually sent these home when it got warm enough. I had 2 pairs of sock liners. So I had 1 pair that I don't know what material this is, but they were just these cheap ones that I got at Walmart literally like 15 years ago. And I had a brand new silk pair from REI. Guess what? These held up for the entire freaking trail. Those silk ones maybe lasted me 3 weeks until they got holes in them. So again, it's not just the more expensive stuff that holds up. Bikini, because there are a lot of swimming opportunities on the AT, so don't sleep on that. And my rain gear, I had a pair of Columbia rain pants. I literally wore these along with my rain jacket for basically the entire first month because not only was it raining a lot, but it was also really cold. So I was like constantly super cold. So these worked well as like a wind layer, kind of a layer to insulate a little bit. And then of course to keep me out of the rain. Love these things. And then a rain jacket. This isn't the rain jacket that I had on the AT. I just happened to not be able to find that, but this is one that I got since. And I really like this rain jacket. It's a Marmot Precip. Fairly inexpensive for, you know, kind of a name brand rain jacket, but look at this. I've since gotten a hole in it. I burned it at a campfire. But again, like my rain pants and rain jacket came in handy, not just for when it was raining, but also when it was cold outside. And I would even like sleep in this stuff sometimes because I would be so cold. But again, I'm a very cold person. I don't produce my own heat unless I'm moving. Anyway, so those are the choices I made for clothes. Again, like some people would say I had too many clothes because, you know, they're ultralighters and think you need to save weight on tons of stuff. But I personally, like, I get cold. I like to be probably on the more hygienic side of thru-hikers. Even though I would hike in the same clothes every day, I would like to have an extra pair. So at camp, I would always like do a baby wipe shower, and I would like to be able to put on a different set of clothes after I was done sweating for the day and like got cleaned up a little bit and just feel like even on those days when you can't actually shower, to feel a little bit fresher. That was really important to me. So it was important to me to be able to change my clothes, and it's super important to, like, especially at the beginning of the trail or the end, maybe if you're on the later side and it's getting cold again. But if you've been out hiking all day and your clothes are soaked from sweat, from rain, whatever, you all of a sudden stop hiking at camp and it's super cold out, it's really important that you be able to change into dry clothes because otherwise you could end up with hypothermia. So that was something that I did as soon as I got to camp every single day, was I immediately set everything up, set my tent up, set my sleeping pad and my sleeping bag, whatever, and then I would go in and like clean up with my baby wipes and then change my clothes, get into dry clothes. And that was really helpful, not just for feeling fresher, but also in preventing hypothermia. And some of those times I would get to camp and like I would immediately have to get on my sleeping bag because it was so cold. But I think if I didn't have extra clothes for camp, I personally would have been in trouble. So I really recommend that, like, no matter how crazy people get about being ultralight, you do keep an extra set of clothes for camp. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, and I hope I didn't forget anything. I don't think I did. But if I did, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you have a favorite piece of clothing for hiking, or you think something else would be useful, that sort of thing. Make sure you like this video and subscribe for more hiking content, Appalachian Trail content, hiking tips and tricks, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.